Hi, I'm Casey Dreyer. I'm the Senior Space Policy Advisor here at the Planetary Society, and I'm also the author of the Planetary Exploration Budget Dataset, the thing we're looking at right now. In this quick video, I'm going to give you an overview of the types of data you can find in this dataset and kind of give you some ideas on how you can use it to dive deep into the history of NASA's investments in planetary exploration, to do historical analysis or comparisons to future ideas or thoughts about exploring the solar system. So here I am on our main page at planetary.org. It gives you the background of the program, kind of lets you know when it's been updated. And we also do some pre-visualizations for you that you can download and include really easy in your presentations. But if you'd like to dive deeper into the data, which I assume you do because you're watching this right now, I'm going to walk you through the actual data set itself. There are a couple ways to access it through Google Sheets, which is just by taking this to the data, or you can download the same data set as an Excel spreadsheet. Both are exactly the same, but right now I'll just walk you through the Google version of it because it's just easier to show. When you open it, you get this introduction page that outlines the 4 different types of sheets that you will find in this data set. You will find basically some summary pages, these things here in green, that help you, tell this larger narrative of investments in planetary science. We have mission pages for every major planetary science mission, basically over $100 million, that will give you the annualized cost history of that mission, including development, launch, and operations. And then you'll have raw data from every single fiscal year from 1959 until now that gives you the full scope of NASA's request and ultimately what was spent for every year in planetary science in case you want to find items that go below that mission line, for example, research funding or technology funding or the like. We also have a couple pages just as reference documents, mainly used for doing inflation adjustments and comparisons to overall outlays and spending within the United States. I'll just give you an example of the types of sheets that we're talking about so you can see them. A good example here, you can see the whole scope of sheets. Planetary Science Budget History, it's exactly what it sounds like. This gives the overall program as requested by the White House and actually spent for the entire planetary program from 1959 until the current day, including the projections from the latest NASA budget request. This lets you see the entire history and it's normalized for you to use. If you want to look at a mission page, you can see here that every single mission is listed here in order of alphabetical order. And I'll just choose one here that's near and dear to my heart, the Curiosity Mars rover mission. Every mission page is going to be a variation on this theme. You'll always have an official life cycle cost, LCC, estimate. That's what NASA predicted the entire mission, including its prime mission, would cost at the time of launch. You get fiscal year spending for every single fiscal year that the mission has gone on or will be going on in the next year if it's still continuing, broken out by, in this case, development, formulation, implementation, launch services if we have the annualized spending. If not, we just give the total launch cost down here, and operations, the annual cost of just running the mission. Everything in here you'll see is in millions of dollars, and then the other convention is that you see anything in italics is an estimate. That's either data that hasn't been finalized yet, or sometimes we need to do, depending on when things were reported and how accounting was done at the time, a little bit of estimation to make a good guess about what NASA spent at the time. You'll see here the total cost of the mission then summed by year here. You can see the total cost for the Curiosity mission, including all of its operations. And then we always include an inflation adjustment for the total cost year by year and also summed here down at the time. This will be updated to the latest full fiscal year that has just been completed, usually done by NASA's New Start Index or the Employment Cost Index for operations after 2000. So this is a good example of a mission page. And then finally, I'll just show a quick overview of a fiscal year page. Fiscal years are broken out by the request that was submitted to Congress. Where possible, where we have data, we will include the enacted values through congressional legislation, and then actual values, what NASA ultimately obligated contractually to spend for each of these programs. So you can compare the request and actual at the end of the day. Everything in bold and in gray is a major top-line program within the planetary science division or major program at the time. And then we include all the subprograms as requested in the NASA document itself. So you can see the full scope of every single fiscal year, again, as reported by NASA, and we include, where possible, dates of activity. So this is the date that the presidential request was released, and we also include the enacted date of the legislation that ultimately funded the request. So again, we have every single fiscal year going back to 1950, 59, and then we have those reference data sets here. So that's kind of a sense of what's in the Planetary Science Budget Dataset. Hope you enjoy working through the data. If you ever have any questions, feel free to email me at casey.dreyer@planetary.org. And thank you.